A terrific Thursday morning. Welcome to the New Mexico True How-To webinar series. Today we're going to be talking about the new NewMexico.org and all of the new features that come with that, along with some of the research and some of the data that went into the redesign. So I know we still have some people logging in, so we will make the webinar available via video after the webinar ends today. And then we will also include a PDF of the presentation deck, so you can go back and you can reference that. So let's kick it off. So today's panel includes myself. This is Jordan Gunther. I'm Director of Brand Marketing and Advertising with the Tourism Department. Includes Max Lehman. Gosh, I think Max hacked my PowerPoint. Master of the Web, or our friendly webmaster, and Heather Briganti, our Communications Director.
I did not hack your PowerPoint, Jordan, because I would have never used that photo.
Cue the loud applause. All right, so if you guys have participated in past webinars with us, just to create some ease and some flow of the presentation, if you have any questions, text those questions to Laura Rasmussen at 505-469-2739, and we'll answer those at the end of the webinar. Again, it's 505-469-2739. Perfect. So we know you guys are going to have lots of questions, but we wanted to start with a question of our own prior to hopping in. So we've built in a poll question, and we encourage you guys to respond. So how often do you or your organization use NewMexico.org to post information or find inspiration? So you can select one of the following. So 1 to 2 times per week, 1 to 2 times per month, 1 to 2 times per quarter, 1 to 2 times per year, or, heaven forbid, never. All right, so let's go ahead and close that poll one. All right, so it looks like the majority are right in the 1 to 2 times per month, 1 to 2 times per quarter. Good information. So ultimately what we want to take out of this is having a better understanding of how you guys are using the website, and hopefully provide some relevant information in today's webinar to encourage you to come back and visit the website even more. So with that being said, let's continue on. So I think it's important to set the ground stage for the website redesign. So in 2012, we launched the last iteration of NewMexico.org, and it was a relatively rushed launch because right around that same time, if most of you recall, we were launching the brand for New Mexico True. So it was pretty much a simultaneous launch of the new brand along with the new website that tied into it. This time, we've had quite a bit more flexibility and more time to make sure that we really looked at how people were using the website and how that user experience would turn out. But I think ultimately it's really important to understand and go back to what the core mission of the New Mexico Tourism Department is, to go the primary destination for venturesome travelers. And the website, NewMexico.org, is our primary call to action in all of our advertising mechanical. And so the call to action is always NewMexico.org, so we really have to continue to deliver on that brand promise once a potential traveler visits NewMexico.org. And we believe strongly that we have with the new website. So NewMexico.org received a comprehensive and strategic overhaul to better cater to each visitor's trip planning and adventure-seeking experience. Really, the big thing on this new website relaunch is the fact that it's a responsive design site. And so the website will actually respond to whatever type of device, cross-platform, that a potential visitor or traveler to NewMexico.org is viewing the website on, whether that's on laptop, whether it's on desktop, whether it's on tablet or mobile. They're going to get the same rich experience on every single one of those devices. So going into a little bit of what we know about NewMexico.org and what people are looking for. Here's a quick word cloud of the top 25 destination keywords that people are looking for on the website. So in typical word cloud fashion, so the larger the copy, the more searches that would have. So with Santa Fe and Albuquerque really receiving the bulk of those. You'll also notice a lot of other destinations on here as well, including some of our national parks and monuments. So we know there's a wide range of information that people are truly seeking information on when they visit the website. So how does that translate into actual website visits? So this is just data that was pulled from fiscal year 15 through fiscal year 16. So from July 1, 2014 to June 30th, 2016, there were roughly about a little over 3.6 million sessions that were occurring on NewMexico.org. And so for reference, a session is somebody visiting the website, and those are unique sessions. So it's not counting multiple people multiple times. It's just a unique session. So that 3.6 million people in that span of FY15 to FY16. So we know that the advertising is working because we know that the visitors are coming to the website. And we have a better understanding of really what they're looking for when they get there. In addition to the sessions, we also have a better understanding and idea of how people are getting to the website. Far and away, organic search is still the #1 way that people get to NewMexico.org. So people searching for New Mexico or New Mexico keywords and then funneling through to the website. That's followed by direct, other. It's important to note that that includes our paid media efforts through digital. So that could be from Yumi, which is a video servicing platform, eTarget, which is our direct email vendor, Google, that could be keywords, that could be paid search, Matador Network, who, if anybody on the call today was at Trends Conference, you were introduced to Matador and some of their amazing content creation opportunities. And then paid search, social, email, and I guess important to note is display there at the very end. And so as we've really diversified our digital media plan, display has really become an afterthought because we truly understand that people aren't clicking on typical display ads the way they used to. It's almost kind of out of sight, out of mind. And this is proof in the pudding that the return that we would get for placing display ads really isn't that beneficial for the spend. So moving on. So just to give a snapshot of the last 30 days, so sessions on NewMexico.org by specific keyword. This will be really important as we continue through the rest of today's webinar and having a better understanding of what people are, again, looking for. And so New Mexico events, New Mexico tourism, so more of a general type keyword, New Mexico ski resorts, are all up there in the top 3. And so as we get into the Partners Portal and the revamped Partners Portal and the ability to add your listings and events here later on in the webinar, keep this slide in mind because it's really important to have that understanding that events truly are a driver of interest for people visiting the website. Additionally, you'll notice as we kind of tail off here that New Mexico Museum of Art, so that we start getting into really specific type of businesses and establishments here in New Mexico, followed by general hot springs searches or queries, Sandia Peak Tramway, Route 66, Hot Air Balloon Festival, national parks, and then camping. So again, really strategic ways to get your content out in front of people on some of these various landing pages on NewMexico.org that we'll explain here in a bit as well. Another really interesting component to the analytics is that of new sessions versus returning sessions. So basically what this tells us is that 80% of people visiting NewMexico.org are new visitors to the site. So they've never been there before versus the 20% that is returning. the important takeaway here is that it's going to be really important for all of us working collectively as a tourism industry to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward and providing information that is both accurate, that's timely, and that's relevant. Because as we see, and as the analytics would suggest, when 80% of the people that are visiting the website, they're visiting and they're basically getting the first taste of New Mexico for the very first time. So it's going to be really important to make sure that we have really robust content available on the website. All right, so moving on. So again, if you guys have had previous webinar sessions or trainings with us, you know that we really, really love talking about research. And I think it's important to know that the research truly backs up the analytics on this one. So a couple did you knows. So this is sourced from our Longwood study from last year. And it's important to know how people are going through their trip planning process and how they are looking for information on specific destinations that they intend to travel to. And visitors to New Mexico are much more likely to use a destination or CVB website for trip planning than the US average. So just think about that. You could read in and dig in a lot of to what truly that means and what the undertones are. But basically what we're trying to do is provide a really robust funnel system through NewMexico.org as a hook, and then to continue that user trip planning process through the funnel to the specific locations for really important information that they might be looking for in terms of specific destinations, specific attractions, or specific events. Again, so based on Longwood's information, visitors to New Mexico are also more likely to use technology, whether it's a desktop, computer, laptop, smartphone, or tablet, for trip planning than the US average. So this goes into really the necessity for us to make sure that the new version of NewMexico.org was responsive in design. Just based on knowing the fact that we need to provide the most seamless and easiest navigation tool for people to use while they're in that trip planning phase. And again, along those same lines in terms of the responsive design site, visitors to New Mexico are also more likely to use technology during their trip. So they're using technology to plan their trip, and we also know that they're using that same technology once they're here in New Mexico. And so that truly goes into one of the really neat features that I'm most excited about on the new website is the opportunity to serve dynamic content to a traveler visiting the website based on their geolocation. So for instance, a traveler to NewMexico.org from out of state would receive different type of information than that of someone visiting the website when they're actually in state. So out of state, it's really about creating that awareness for New Mexico, creating a better understanding of what there is to see and do and experience versus in state. Now it's really about getting that information about timely information about what to see, what to do, what to experience now that you're here. So leveraging our assets through New Mexico True Television and really making sure that our upcoming events are front and center for them to see and then go and experience. So here's the fun part. So now you got the background information of the analytics and the research that backs up the analytics. And for those of you who haven't yet, let's kind of take a tour of the new site. All right, so as you'll see, similar to the previous website, we have a ton of video, and it's really important for us to make sure that we lead with robust, vivid imagery, and in this case, through video. So unlike the previous website, with this one, you can actually toggle the sound on and off if you want to hear the anthem music, na-na-na, or you can leave it off. It was important to us for this one to not necessarily launch with music. It can sometimes be a deterrent depending on the music, but the user truly has the ability to customize the site for themselves.
Just to let everybody know, you might see a little choppiness in the video on the webinar display. It's not that way when you go to the site. It's because of the webinar interface.
Perfect. So Continuing down the site, again, this is viewing the website as somebody would see it from out of state, since we haven't really launched our dynamic content yet, but we plan to in the next couple of days with the launch of our new Keep New Mexico True campaign. Another new component to the homepage of NewMexico.org is the decision to bring our regions front and center, and so making sure that there's an easy to access portal for these users to navigate through two different portions of the website. Again, different type of buckets down here at the bottom, and then most importantly, the new social integration that we're able to pull through two various pages on the website through a vendor called Stackla. And with that, I want to take you through to just a city page, and this will transition into the partners portal and the ability to add, update listings and events. So I'll turn it over to Max to continue the walkthrough.
Okay, so what we have here is, good morning everybody, by the way. We have a city page for Taos. As you probably are aware, we have had a program here at the department where we continually reach out to the communities in the state in order to ask them to participate in the website and give us content for the website. So if you find that your city, the city that you're in, is not on the website, either contact Jordan or myself, or even Laura or Heather, and if we could get in contact with the community leaders that might be able to provide content, we will build a page for you as quickly as possible. But we are reliant upon the local communities for that content. So what we have here is a new city page. This content was brought over from the previous website, so we have preserved as much of the content as possible. Just some general information about how to contact the CVB or any tourism organizations that are involved with the community. And then at the bottom of the page, we have our business listings that are created. One of the things I'd like to point out here, actually scroll down a little bit, Jordan, is you see on this page there are two listings that have a gray box with a Zia image in it. The reason that that is happening is because there have been no images uploaded to these listings. So if you have a listing and you see that it has this gray box, that means you will have to add images to your listing, okay? So we're going to go back up here. So the first page that you'd get would show you in general all of the businesses that have listed themselves for this example in Taos. By using the filters, we go to category and we're going to choose art galleries and studios, and then you click on filter results and you'll see here are all of the galleries or artist studios that have created listings for themselves, and you can see that there is one here that has no images. I'm just saying that to stress that it's very, very important to have good quality, clear images attached to your listing. So, once you have filtered it, if anybody can click on the View Map button, and this will, as we zoom in, this will actually place the coordinates for the businesses on the map so they can easily be found.
And Max, I don't think we have any specific numbers to discuss during this particular webinar, but I mean, obviously a listing is much more likely to get clicks if there's a picture to go with it, correct?
Yes,
okay. That's
very true. So, were we going to show another page, or is it just?
That's perfect. So I think this is a good segue into a question that I know has come up quite a bit over the last couple of weeks since we launched the new website is, how do we access the new partners portal, and how do we make updates to either our current listings, or how do we create a new account to get in there and create new listings and new events? The easiest place is going to be to go to our industry website, which was also part of the refresh of NewMexico.org. And so now the industry website is actually a microsite within NewMexico.org. Important to note that you can still access the industry website via the old URL, so nmtourism.org will still get you to the same place, or if you want to just go to newmexico.org, it's /industry.
The links to this are also located in the footer on every single page of the website.
So hovering over Work Together and clicking on Partners Portal Sign Up will bring you to this page.
This is a form that we have created. This is for new businesses only. If you had an account on the previous website, you still have an account on this website. It was migrated over. Hopefully we got everything correct in the migration, but because of the nature of this and the amount of data that we had to migrate over, there could have been a couple of glitches there, or maybe we have an orphaned contact or an orphaned account. But as we go through this, as we keep moving forward with the website, if you guys reach out to us, we can make sure to get you to your listing or give you access to your account. So if you do not have an account, this would be the form that you go to in order to request an account. We've changed things where in the past, we used to have people could create an account without being approved first, and then they could jump right in further to create listings or events or deals. This time around, just to kind of like streamline the workflow, we're asking people to request an account first, and which will be approved, and then after the account is approved, then you can go in and start creating your listings and everything.
So also from this page, if you already have an account on NewMexico.org, you can click here. This will take you over to the Partners Portal login, or there's another handy click here for a quick start guide. So similar to what Max and I will walk you through here shortly in terms of logging in and creating a listing, this link will also walk you through that same process should you have questions after today's webinar.
Let's scroll down to the bottom of the page, Jordan, all the way to the footer. This footer that you're looking at here is used across both sites, both the industry and the consumer site. And you will see right there in the middle, it says Partner Logon in the second column. That is also a link that will take you to the login page. And this, again, is, since it's in the footer, it is on every single page of the website. So here we have the Partners login page. So once you have had an account created or your account approved, you will receive a link to this page in an email, and it will give you your username and a temporary password. Now, upon your first login, you will be asked to reset the password that was sent to you, and since Jordan is already logged in, we aren't going to go through that process right now. But you'll also notice here you have two links right below the password field that, oh, I guess we went in too fast. There are two links. One is for resetting your password, and the other is to request an account if you don't already have one. So since Jordan has his account set up, we went ahead and logged in, and this is the home page of the new Partners Portal. There's a few things to point out here, which is it is much easier to navigate. The navigation is very streamlined compared to the last Partners Portal that we had on the old website. And we have this home page where we have a few features here. The first thing you'll notice is that we have a welcome banner up in the image, and there are slides that are switching that we can place important messages about your listing, about things that are going on in New Mexico here on this page, so that that grabs your attention right away if we have an announcement coming from the tourism department. Below, you'll see we have partner bulletins. These are places where internal communications from the tourism department can be posted to the home page. And right now we just have a welcome, and we have a step-by-step instructions for creating a listing. We're still working on getting step-by-step instructions for calendar of events and for coupons or deals, but the step-by-step instructions that we have here are pretty much you just replicate these steps for the other tasks that you want to take. There's also a feature called Post Board. This is where eventually users of the Partners Portal will be able to make posts, either asking questions, maybe discussing things, maybe giving important news about themselves. We have this disabled right now because we're waiting for there to be enough users in the system to make it worth having the system up. So we anticipate that we'll probably make this go live in another couple months. So that's pretty much the home page. The next most important thing, well, actually scroll back up a little bit, Jordan. You'll see across the top, we have New Mexico True, New Mexico Tourism Department Partners Portal. That is mostly to tell you that this is the portal that you're in. You will see your username, which is Jordan's email here, the logout button, and then this is the account name, so you just know what account you're in. Most people will not have multiple accounts, but this is just there for your information, and there is also a search button there in the extreme upper right-hand corner. So getting into the meat of the matter, right now we are on the button that's called Home. So this is your home page. This is the button, oh, I'm sorry. This is on the left-hand side navigation that you access the home, okay? So these are the four primary places to go to get into the areas that you need to get into to create your listing, et cetera, et cetera. Jordan, let's go ahead and click on Profile. So the very first thing that happens when you click on this button is you get a flyout menu, and it gives you two options. If you click on Accounts, what this does is this tells you what your account is. The apply filters and all of that is, again, if you have multiple accounts, which is unlikely, you would be able to search here and filter them to try to get into the correct account. Down below, now this is going to be pretty much similar across the entire new Partners portal. If you click on the pen, this is where you can go in to make changes to your account information. This account information should probably be for the primary user or the primary organization. And you see that now on these business addresses, we have little pens. You can click on those in order to open that up so you can make changes to that, because some businesses naturally will have a physical address, a mailing address, or a shipping address. So let's go ahead and click Save and get out of here. You have to put your email in. There you go. Now, if you will see down below, since we are still on the account details page, we have two buttons under related details, Manage Amenities and Manage Meeting Space. We are going to provide these to the users very, very soon, but we are still working out what we want to have underneath these two buttons. So you can expect that the amenities will come first, and we're hoping to have that done in a couple of weeks. The one thing about about SimpleView and the platform that we're using is we have so many more options than we had before that it's taking us time to just sort through these things. Let's go back to Profile again, Jordan. And let's click on Contacts. Now here you'll see that Jordan only has, again, this interface is very similar to the one that we were just on. And the main features are there is a bar down below with the pen, the eye, and the double paper icons. The pen, of course, is to edit this listing. The eye is just so that you can view what the contact is. And the double paper is to clone it. Okay, again, I don't see any reason why you would want to clone a contact at this point. But the way that to think about this is a contact updates listings, okay? And in that same vein, a contact will also update and add a calendar of events or coupons and deals, okay? Now, and we do have some businesses here in New Mexico that have multiple contacts under their businesses, and that is because, like, say if you're a hotel chain and you have a general manager at each one, say if you have 6 hotels and you have a person at each hotel that is responsible, you could say, you know, you have your master account for the entire organization, and then you can have multiple contacts so that each of these people can get in and update the listings that are underneath this account. And this will make more sense as we get down into the listings area. But in order to add a contact, you would just simply click on the Add Contact button and then go and fill out the form. And then hit Save. But we're not going to do that here. So probably the most important button here in the left-hand nav is the collateral. And under collateral, you will see that we have listings, special offers, which are our coupons, calendar of events, and media. The nice change here is that you don't have to drop in and out of the editor every time you want to go and do a different task. You can just go ahead. Let's click into listings, Jordan. We'll start here. And you can just move back and forth with a lot more ease instead of having to go close the editor, go back up to the tabs, and then jump back down into the editor in order to complete or go to a new task. We have a dummy listing, I'll call it, set up here because it's the content in it is not live, and it's just for demonstration purposes. But Jordan, let's go ahead and click on the pen. So when you click on the pen, you get a form that will allow you to go in and start creating your listing. You have your save and your cancel button there at the top. You have listing information. The sections, these are anchor links that if you click, like say, click on social media, Jordan. That will jump you down to that section in the form so you don't have to keep scrolling or anything, and you can jump back up to the top with your listing information. So let's see. What we have here is we have the account that you choose. The type you're going to choose is almost always going to be website. So the contact is Jordan for this account, for this listing, sorry. The address type is the physical address. And then we have our description. Now you can type directly into the description, or if you want to type something, Jordan, or you can copy and paste from a Word document. The drag and drop file, here we're going to open up a Word document. Here's the designer's favorite, Lorem. And you'll see here we have our text has now been pasted into the field. The drag and drop file to page, or use the browse button, will allow you to add a brochure or a PDF to this page, okay? So that way, if you have material that you want to have downloaded by a visitor to your listing, this is where you could add that. And then the keywords is where you can put in things like, let's say pet-friendly, swimming pool, Wi-Fi, throw out keywords, people, for for hotels or pool. Well, I said swimming pool. Oh, what am I thinking? Continental breakfast. That's what I got. Things like that. So now, underneath that are our categories. This is another big change that we've had to do. In the past, we allowed people to select multiples of categories. And on the new website, we have made the decision to limit that to only 2. That would be the primary category and the subcategory. Okay, so like if you're a hotel, for example, you would probably choose hotel, and then go under stay here. Sorry, and then go under the subcategory and choose what kind of accommodation you offer. The reason for this is in the past we allowed people to choose multiple categories in order to define their business on our website. And the problem this created is a lot of confusion with the consumers, because you could have a restaurant that would say it was a golf course. You could have a golf course that would say it was a bed and breakfast. You would have a bed and breakfast that could say it was some other, say it was a state park. It was very, very confusing. And so we have decided in order to support the search engine optimization on the site, and make it so visitors to the site can find your listing easier to limit the amounts of categories you can choose so that it's very, very specific about what kind of category you have, okay? The next tab that we go to is social media. Here we can add in our Facebook pages, Twitter feed, your Instagram, or even a YouTube if you have videos up on YouTube. Continuing down, the details, these things should have been populated when you created the account. So this is being pulled in from the initial sign up. But if you need to change this because maybe your account is in a different location, you know, the parent company is in a different location than from the business location, all you have to do is, you see the little circle there on the tab next to the listing address one, or any of these. If you click on that, that becomes green. That means that it is now an editable field. So let's continue on down. So there's all of those. This here, website notifications, is if you want to receive information from us, you can enter emails in there, and when we send out information from the Partners Portal, you would be able to receive this information.
Max, can you give us an example? What kind of information would you send out from the Partners Portal?
Well, if we add features to the Partners Portal, if we turn on a feature, if we say the post board is now available for you to start making posts, if we have something important coming up, if we have, you know, like the True Certified program, Keep New Mexico True, any of these things that we want to let the partners who have accounts in the portals be aware of,
okay,
that would be a good place for this to happen.
And another thing that we're going to touch on here shortly too is our premium partnership opportunities. And so, you know, should your business or should an attraction move forward with those premium partnership opportunities, this would be a good way for us to notify you that those are live and available on the site as well.
So, and underneath that, here is another new thing that I think everybody is really going to like. Right now, you can see listing images. Okay, the only one that's activated is the lovely picture of the pistachio chocolate that we added, and that would mean that this picture would be the one that is activated on the website. Okay, if you go in, scroll over one of the other ones, you should have a checkbox. Can you just click it? There, okay. Now these other images would be activated on this listing. So this is kind of a cool feature where you can load up as many images as you want, and you can change them. So you could have a set of summer images, and when the season changes, you can go in and turn on all of your summer images and turn off all of your winter images. So you can have images for seasons, images for events, images for different accommodations. It just makes the entire thing easier to manage your media. Let's go ahead and save this, Jordan. Oh. Okay. Going back over to collateral. We're going to jump down to media because I think this is the next most important thing for most people. The media function is much improved over the previous website, and you see here are images that we're looking at in the sample listing that we're working on. If we go ahead and click Add New Media, you'll be taken to a form. Notice that this, again, is very, very similar. Everything looks the same, so you should be familiar with all of the different forms that you're getting. You go through this form, and you just start by typing in a title of the image if you have one. Now, Jordan jumped ahead, and he did something here. Jordan, would you open up the Type drop-down? Go back up to Choose One. So you will see that you do not have an upload field here. The reason for that is because you have to say what kind of media it is, okay? For this particular purpose, we're going to use image. And that will open up the upload field. There's two ways you can do this. You can use a traditional browse button where you can just go and find your images, or you can just grab an image and drag it over to the upload box. Is this going to work here? Is that, do you think it's because of the presentation?
Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
Anyway, trust us. You can drag and drop.
Trust me, we've done it many times. Go ahead and browse for an image, Jordan. Where's our web? You go down, it's web examples is what it was called, so it should be at the very bottom. There it is. Now, the one thing you want to make sure of is that the system will accept JPEGs, GIFs, and PNGs, okay? So you have to make sure that you have the correct image extension. So we also allow you, you'll notice, to upload extremely large images. The thing to note here is that the standard ratio across our website is no longer a pixel dimension. It is now 9 by 16 horizontal. So that's pretty much similar to like a widescreen television. If you choose to resize images in that ratio, then you will pretty much get the entire image on your listing page. Another thing,
I would just say too, just for a point of clarification on that, horizontal or landscape-oriented images will always work better than vertical images. So either horizontal, like you see here with the bosque birds image, or a square. Square images, they will get resized automatically, but they'll crop, and it's really difficult to control the way in which they're going to crop. So I would just recommend, if you have them, always go with more of the horizontal or square type images and avoid the vertical oriented images.
Let's scroll back up. I want to make sure that we covered all of these other fields. So yeah, so sort order. If you want a particular image to be the very first thing to appear, you want to set the sort order. So for it to be first, you would enter the number 1 into this. Don't spell it, just enter the numerical character 1. Okay. The other thing this does in the sort order is an image that is designated with 1. That will be the image that shows up in the on the listing page, okay, where all of the other listings are. So you just want to make sure, if you want it to be a logo or something like that, as long as it's designated S1, this is where it will show up on this page that Jordan is showing you right now. So let's go back down to the bottom. Another cool thing is, so you can load all of your media up into this section, okay? And if you have a couple of listings, like if you have a business that has 2 locations, one in Santa Fe, one in Taos, and you've created listings for these businesses, you can then assign the image using this drop-down list here. Since we only have our 1, this is where Jordan would have to click in order to assign this to his sample listing. Then we go ahead and click Save. So here we go. You see now we have another image that has been inserted into our media library. So let's go back up to the collateral flyout. Let's go to calendar of events. Listings and events are the 2 most used things on the website. So here we have a test event set up, and you also see the Add Event button. So why don't do we want to do a new one? Oh, for those of you that have multiple events, okay, there's a new feature here that I think you guys would really, really like, and that is the clone feature, which is the 2 pages. So if you have an event and it's occurring, I think a good example would be, like, say you have a play or some kind of a band or any kind of performance type thing happening. If you have like a matinee performance, something for kids that's taking place at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you have another one that's taking place in the evening, what you could do is you could go ahead and just create the event once, set the time for whichever time you want to promote it at that particular, for that particular performance. then save it, come back out, clone it, and then all you would have to do, which will just create a new copy of that event, and then all you'll have to do is go back in and change the time or the date, so you can have multiple events occurring at different times on a day. And so this should be able to save you a lot of time.
Yeah, and in the interest of time, we won't go in and show you how to add an event, but it's very similar to that of a business listing.
Yeah, it's practically the same interface. Actually, let's go ahead and add an event, because I do want to go down to the bottom of that. We'll click Add Event. You'll see here that it's the same kind of interface that you should be getting used to. The important thing down here is that, scroll just a little bit, Jordan. See the event dates. Here you can put in your start date, your start time, the times for the event, and the end time, okay? This, you can also set a recurrence. So yeah, if you just choose one, I think that if you put in times, it'll give you, I'm not too sure about times. We'll have to, let me research this and we'll get back on this, but something like that, yeah. Put in a start time. And then put in your end time. Okay, and then you could set a recurrence. So you can have a one-day event, you can have a daily event. That would be an event that happens sequentially over a couple of days, weekly, monthly, or yearly. So you could actually, if you have a big event, say like Balloon Fiesta, and you know when it's occurring, you could go ahead and, if it occurs on the same day every year, which I know Balloon Fiesta doesn't, but if you have something that happens, like say on Labor Day weekend, you could enter a recurrence and then set it for however long you think the event is going to run for the next 10 years, the next 15 years, however long seems reasonable. And then you don't have to go in and recreate the event every year. The last thing down here is, again, the image gallery, where you add an image. The one thing that you should note about this is you will not be able to save the event unless you add an image to it, okay? Yeah, it's telling you what's going on. You should be able to access the images that you have uploaded from here, so I do not know why they are not here. But they want you to be able to bring in an image from outside. So I will ask why they aren't able to access, why you weren't able to access your uploaded images, because that might be a feature of the system that we have to make sure is plugged in correctly and working.
Max, can you just quickly recap and speak to the size and the dimensions of the images again?
Basically, the standard ratio for an image would be 9 vertical by 16 horizontal, okay? And that's kind of along the lines of a, the dimensions are, or the aspect ratio, that would be along the lines of, say, like a widescreen television set. That's going to be the best standard viewing area that you're going to get for an image. I believe that we can upload images up to 20 megabytes, but I'm not 100% sure on that. We're using a new system where instead of having all of the images stored on the same server as the web server, we have an image server, and if a person is going to a web page, say that's on a desktop or that is on a phone, the image will automatically resize dependent upon the device, okay? So you don't have to upload multiple images, one for desktop, one for an iPad, one for a phone, because all of that's going to be handled dynamically. So I think best practice still would be to keep your image dimensions probably under 1,000 pixels in width, and probably I'd say under 5 megabytes in total file size.
Perfect. And again, so we'll repost the PDF deck from today And then important, if you guys missed anything on here or had some questions and would like a more thorough walkthrough of how to create a business listing, how to create an event listing, you can go back to the industry websites, click on Partner Portal Quick Start Guide, and this will walk you through everything that Max just spoke to. So again, the PDF deck will be available at the end, but we also have this quick start guide available as well.
I also want to add one last piece of information as far as being inside the Partners Portal. The last button in that navigation, you'll notice, is a button that says Reports. Currently, we haven't had the website up long enough to have any actual qualitative data in order to provide you with a report. So as the website continues to cure over time and we get more people using it, more people with listings, updating their listings frequently, however frequently you update them, we will configure reports that will be customized for users, and that way you can actually go in and see how many people are visiting your listing, how they're using it, if it makes sense to have this here. We're just hoping to give people another way to just look and see how the NewMexico.org website is a benefit.
Perfect. Thank you, Max. So hopping back over to the PowerPoint deck, one last thing that we'll touch on today, and I believe most of you hopefully have heard us talk about this in one way, shape, or form over the course of the last several weeks. But we're also really excited to announce that, again, coming really soon, we're working on some back-end functionality within the website to ensure that everything's working properly before we roll this out. But we're going to have new premium partnership opportunities on NewMexico.org. And so for the first time ever, and a lot of this comes from, since we launched the last website in 2012, several people, and myself included, have done quite a bit of traveling across the state. And this is one recurrence that always comes up as well, is, will you ever allow us the opportunity to pay for a featured listing or to pay for a page sponsorship and really get our attractions and businesses out in front of travelers that are looking for these types of things when they visit NewMexico.org. And so we're very excited to announce that, yes, we will be offering those types of featured listings and page sponsorships here in the coming weeks. Basically, it's going to work similar to what you see on here. The page sponsorship is up in the top right where you would have a specific destination. It could be a DMO, a specific hotel, a specific B&B, or a specific attraction. And this would feed into the appropriate pages on the website. Also, again, below where you see the featured listings, that first row with the featured star, again, similar look and feel for that as well. And then all of these listings would be placed on high-valued pages that we know people are visiting and frequenting on the website. In addition to that, we'll also offer the opportunity for featured events and featured offers. So again, similar page-type sponsorships on our events page, and then also a layout similar to what you see here with the featured events or the featured deals. So keep your eyes and ears open for more information on that, hopefully within the next couple weeks. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. But again, just really excited to announce that will be a new opportunity on the website. And so with that, before we get in, I know several of you have texted in to Laura, and we have some questions coming in through the webinar portal, but we have one more poll question. So which of the new website features do you find most beneficial and appealing? And unlike the last one, you can actually select one or more of the poll answers here. Perfect. So we'll leave it open for just a couple more seconds. Looks like we got about half of the people voting, which is pretty cool. So, all right, we'll go ahead and close that. Looks like everything's kind of petering off. All right, so looks like far and away. So the ease and convenience of submitting listings and events, that's great. That's really what we were really striving to do with the new Partners Portal. So glad that came across here in today's webinar. And then really excited as well about the responsive design for a better user experience. So keep an eye out for, again, the premium partnership opportunities. I know there was quite a few of you that expressed interest in that. And we will stand for any questions that you guys might have texted in to Laura.
So one partner has said that when the changeover happened, they ended up with duplicate listings, and their main account is listed under one city specifically when they have things throughout the state.
Okay.
So how hard is it for them to get all of the extras in their portal so they can edit and delete them?
If you find yourself in a situation, again, this is related mostly to the migration of the data that we brought over, and there was some duplication. Again, the nature of the type of migration that we did, the amount of data we brought in, inevitably there's going to be some blemos involved with it. If you find yourself in a situation where either you can't find your listing is not attached to your account, if you will email me at max.lehan@state.nm.us, I am more than happy to help you. We will work to get any issues rectified as quickly as possible. I love email, and it's always a pleasure to deal with our partners. It's one of the best things I enjoy about my job is helping people to promote their businesses and make New Mexico a better place to visit.
All right, another partner asked about the partner listings being alphabetized when they show up, and so there is more exposure for an A-listed business versus someone lower in the alphabet.
Yeah, and to quickly answer that, so in the previous iteration of the website, we didn't approach it from an alphabetical standpoint, and the feedback that we had was that it was very difficult to find specific listings of businesses, attractions, hotels, with it not being alphabetized. And so the approach that we've taken on the new redesign is to make everything as user-friendly and easy to find as possible. And so you will see that the listings are alphabetized, but we've taken that a step further. And so above the tops of the listings, right below where you're able to filter what you're looking for, we have easy jump features to different portions of the alphabet. So I don't have it in front of me right now, but we have A through a specific letter, and then it picks up so and so forth. So again, it's one of those things that we're going to monitor and listen and welcome any feedback. But yeah, we have alphabetized, but we have also made it easier to find listings in different letter categories as well. We did have one question come in, if this would be made available after the webinar today. It absolutely will. So if we go back to the industry website, so nmtourism.org, and we go to industry resources, if you click on education, this will be your one-stop shop for all of the New Mexico True How-To webinar series to date. And as soon as this webinar ends, we'll make sure to populate the newest webinar that everybody is partaking in this morning. So any more questions, Laura?
One partner asked that about when they clone an event, they're not able to clone it for another location. Is this something that...
I think that the easiest thing, that's a very interesting question. Let me look into that. We'll make a note of that question, and do we have a...
If you would just send Max or myself an email, yeah, that'd be terrific.
Yeah,
or we'll fill us in on who that's from.
Yeah, because we want to make sure this is the beauty of this new system, is that we really have the ability to customize it so that it actually fits real needs in real time. Having said that, we might not be able to bring a feature online immediately, I mean after we turn off the computer, but if we get suggestions for how to streamline the process, we can certainly float these with the developers and see if we can create a better product overall. And one of the things that we do have an assurance from the developers is that this is also how they work. They want this to be the best user experience possible. So your requests will fall upon listening ears.
Perfect. Thanks, Max. Anything else? No? Awesome. Well, it's 11 o'clock, actually 11:01. Sorry for going over this morning. But I know as everybody has time to go through the partners portal and either create an account for the first time or update any recurring listings or events, I know some questions will come up. So again, feel free to always reach out to this team, either myself, Max, Eric, anybody on the digital team, and we'll make sure that that the inquiry or the question makes it to the right person. So we appreciate your time this morning. We truly do. And we're excited to continue to roll out some new features. So we'll be in touch soon. Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend.